Now, I have no doubt that every wood turner will have something stored away just like this. Stacks and stacks of pieces of wood that you can sling on the lathe, and over time it builds up. Sometimes I come into the workshop here and just say, okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and just select a piece of wood and just turn it. And so this time in the shed, I've selected this piece. It's a bit of cedar. I've had turned that recently, but this has dried out quite significantly since the last time I turned the last piece. It's very light. It's quite, it's ready to be turned on the lathe. So let's get stuck in. I can see on this side there's a bit of, there's two piths going on here. So it's a branch junction, a crutch piece I could see. And between the two branch, there's a bit of a dead piece or a bit of rot. So I'm really just looking at this piece right now. On the other side, of course, the crutch piece is now joined into the main branch. Yeah, I'm wanting to keep that crutch piece whole, but at the same time, I'm looking at where to anchor this. I could put it between centres, but it's not really that safe. I want to put, I'm going to put a faceplate on the bottom of this with some shallow screws so I don't take up some of the real estate of the bowl. Let's put it on the lathe. As always, I've changed my mind. I'm going to trap this between centres. I'm using that piece of rot or area between the two crutch branches and going to turn a tenon on the bottom. That's going to take up maybe about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inches of real estate on the bowl. And I'm not going to keep the live edge on this one at all. I'm going to try and get a complete smooth bowl, which is going to make it relatively small, because you can see here areas of penetration from the odd-shaped exterior of this tree. And there's a great lump hanging off here, so that's almost going to disappear if I don't keep any of this natural bark on the outside. And it is dry, so keeping it on there is probably a waste of time. It's all just going to come off, as you see, with just my hand. So it's not something I'd want to keep on there, or I'd like to keep it on there, but it's certainly not adhering. And any more drying process, it's going to give it some curry. Now there's a great crevasse here. Now I shouldn't put my finger in there, so I'll probably bite it. Too late. So anyway, that's going to take up quite a bit. So almost this side of this piece is going to be missing after a little while. I may get the sawzall out there and just lob it off anyway, because it's going to be a bit of an odd shape. I'll tell you why if I just give it a bit of a kick. You can see, yeah, that piece has to go. I'll get the saw out. Well, I didn't get the saw out. I can use the bandsaw to get this lobbed off. Certainly liking the grain character here on this piece of cedar. And more than anything, don't you just love the smell of cedar? Nice bit of wood. As you can see, it's taken shape. Getting a bit of a small base around here. Just move the camera around so you can see what's going on down there. Yeah, so you can see kind of what's going to happen. But the biggest problem we've got here on this one is this giant crevasse. It's still there. So this is like a third branch that was there coming out of this crack. And if we get right into it, if I can just turn the camera down and around, there's a good another inch or so. So this bowl's going to end up tremendously small. Otherwise, you know me, I might make this a feature. We've still got a fair way to go to get rid of this. So it's going to be a lot smaller than it is. Just another one on this side. And in fact, that goes fairly deep. So there's going to be a few features left here. I mean, all these sorts of nooks and crannies, they do add to the character of the bowl, and I want to keep that grain. It's freaking amazing on this side. I've got two very nice looking branch piths going on through here. One over here. It's about 4 or 5 of them all coming together. It's a knotty piece of wood, but I'm enjoying it, and I love the smell of cedar. As you see, I've turned the bowl around. It's now sitting on the small truck. Looking a little bit closer, there's some very minute cracks. So what I'm going to do is treat that with some CA glue, just to stabilise the bottom of that bowl, because I intend to use this bowl base. Since it came out this way, bowl dictates, well, the wood dictates how the bowl turns out. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got all these crevasses which dictates the size of the bowl. I've still got that huge, oh well, yeah, it's huge feature. I'm not really sure. I might just neaten that up and keep it there. I like those characterful pieces, and these pieces down the bottom here too. We can go on voting and debating just how we want our bowls to turn out, but this is the joy of wood turning. If you see something you think is nice, others might not. Who cares? At the end of the day, have some fun with it. That's what it's about. Don't go off at the deep end thinking it's got to be a particular image of others' work. It's all about your work. It's your personal thing. So I'm going for it. Now, next step is to take this hole out the front. I'm certainly not going to leave that as a feature. We're going to have something for the bowl to be held. It's looking like a bit of a champagne glass, but you know what, if you can get in fairly close there, I'm going to go around the bowl here, and you can see that grain pattern is pretty unique. And there's another thing too, I don't know whether I've mentioned it before, I love the smell of cedar. So here's a bit of a surprise. Nice deep crevices of where the actual branch joints were made. So between the two branches, you can see one here, well, I should say up here. Put a bit of light on the subject. Yeah, so there's one branch here and one branch over here towards the edge. So between here there's all this rotted bark penetration where the junction of the two branches on the crotch piece was. So I'm going to go as deep as I possibly can, but being careful because this now is penetrating the edge of the bowl and it's about as thick as I want to be. Well, that's almost eradicated most of that. Still got a little bit here and probably about another ½ inch on the bowl, on the interior anyway. Most of this is going to come up nice. Beautiful feature there. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I love the smell of cedar. Yeah, that's perfect. Ready for a bit of sanding. It's all sanded up to 400 grit, and they're putting on some myelin sanding sealer. This just kind of seals the wood from the other finishes that will come on top of this. Mainly I use the Acks paste, polishing paste, and polishing finish. Okay, you've seen me do this dozens of times before. I'm using the Acks abrasive sanding paste directly on the cellulose, Mylin's sanding sealer. And then finally I'll put on the polishing paste. Most of my videos you see before this one shows it in detail, so I won't bore you with this on this particular one. So I'll get the finishes on, turn the bowl around, then I'll do the foot and the badge, and she's getting nearing completion. That's another one off the assembly line, as they say. Oh, so this has come out well too. I don't know, it's quite a small bowl from a very gnarly piece of wood, but look at the grain structure on the outside of that. It's came up, let me just see if I can focus that in for you. There. So you can see the two branches from the crutch wood and this piece of cedar is came out really, really nice. And the bottom there with the badge. And if we go inside, the grain structure continues inside. And there's some little features on the outside which are left into the wood, get a bit of character. The one on the outside there, you can see. I could have turned that right down, it wouldn't have mattered much, but I like leaving those sorts of character functionality in the wood or the bowls or the piece, whatever you like to call it. The ones down here as well. Yeah, there could be dust collectors over time, but let's keep the bowl nice and polished. I know there's some people there would really like to say something on the sideboard or on the table. It's turned out well. Guys, thank you very much for watching my channel. It's been great turning this one in this morning. And I love the smell of cedar. Cheers.